This is I Am Change podcast. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. There is zero success without change. Be the change you want to see. Believe, focus, achieve. Welcome to I Am Change podcast. I'm Joyce Ometu. The federal government of Nigeria has set aside July 25th of every year as National Diaspora Day in recognition of the contributions of Nigerians in diaspora. The theme of the event this year is the power of the Nigerian diaspora for national development. I Am Change crew was there to join in the celebration and chat with a few key personalities who shared their views about issues affecting Nigerians home and abroad. One of the issues discussed was illegal migration of Nigerians, causes, and how the negative activities of illegal migrants can be checked.
Okay, Kenneth is my name. I'm the chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Organization, Europe. Okay, like you know, every 25th of July is in Diaspora Day. And the theme for this year is the power of the diaspora, of course in search of homeland development. And we had the different continental bodies from Europe, Asia, Africa, America and Oceania delivering projects. The project that they are currently doing in Nigeria, the project that they intend to do, and how we can add value, how we can have a diaspora intervention for the homeland development. Nigeria is one of the most populous countries in the world. And so out of every migration, like the statistics say that in the last 2 years, Nigeria is the fourth on the world of the migration to Europe and top number one in Africa. So it means that with such population going out of Europe, going out of Nigeria to Europe, it's not expected, it's not surprising that we are the number one target.
Yeah, my name's Victor Ikoli. I'm from Nigerians in Diaspora in Qatar. And I'm the president of NIDO Qatar. NIDO Europe has a very interesting presentation because that's my core area, which it's human trafficking, on how we can mitigate, on how we can limit it, on how we can inform our people back home here. On the need for them, if they have to travel, they should travel regularly, not irregular travel, either by boat or by sea, and they find themselves stranded somewhere. Illegal migration one is misinformation. A lot of youths here are misinformed. Somebody could just wake up one morning and says, "Oh, I want to travel because I'll make so much money abroad," but they don't know the reality there. And the reality is nowhere is green. Everywhere you have to work, and you have to have the right qualifications. So you can imagine somebody with a school cert who decides to leave Nigeria and say he's sojourning abroad. What do you want to do? You want to work in a supermarket?
I did a presentation on safe migration where we think it's essentially necessary to enlighten Nigerians about the dangers of illegal migration. At the same time, creating opportunities for legal migration. But all the same, it's about let us look around what are the potentials available in Nigeria, explore all those potentials, and see migration as a last resort. And if we must migrate, we should migrate, with reason. And some of them is studying. For instance, in Germany, I've mentioned that in my presentation, tuition fee is free up to university level. So people should take advantage of such opportunities to migrate. So when we're migrating, we should migrate legally.
Again, like I said, it's for us to look inwards, find a way to stabilize our economy, grow our economy, try to grow the middle class. There's no middle class in Nigeria. It's the maybe 95% at the extreme poor level and the 5% at the extremely up there rich level in millions and in billions. There's no middle class. And it's very unfortunate that our kids will graduate from school without any hope. When I graduated, yes, even I graduated with an ND or whatever it's called. I was able to get a job. Very soon I got level 8 and I got a car. It's no longer the case. It's no longer the case. So it's very hopeless here, and that's why they think it is all rosy out there, and they want to take the chances 50-50. It's either they make it or they die. I've spoken to many, and they say, what's the difference? Die in the desert or dying here? You know, if I die in desert, okay. If I make it, maybe I'll be able to help myself and help my family. So it's 50-50. When you are in Nigeria, it's 100%. It's 100% you die, you are useless. When you try to migrate, it's 50-50, you make it. It's either you die or you are lucky, be among those that make it.
Another issue raised is the fact that the number of Nigerians killed in xenophobic attacks is on the rise. Reports indicate that in South Africa alone, about 118 Nigerians have been killed in the past 3 years. Nigerians in diaspora responded to why Nigerians are targeted in such attacks.
What I have to say is that it does not happen where I live. Yeah, because there's a very strong rule of law in the U.S. I don't know why it's happening in South Africa. It wasn't like that before. So for me, as a straight shooter, I would say let us search ourselves and know why it is happening.
I think we look at that in so many ways. One, on the positive side, Nigerians are really very successful when they get out of here. Many of them go out and they set up business, and their businesses do thrive quite a lot. And sometimes it also elicits the envy of the indigenous black people, particularly if they here, and that's what is happening in South Africa. But on the other hand, on the negative side, you know, just as we have successful Nigerians, there are also a lot of us who go to these countries and they're on the fast lane. Fast lane meaning that they want to get money very quickly, and most of the time, those who live here in South Africa they didn't live with any real idea of what they're going to do there. They just say, I want to go overseas, I want to go to South Africa. And when you go there and begin to do all kinds of things and get money, get rich quick, and get into drugs, get into a whole lot of, you run into some problem, and the people are going to say, you are bringing drugs, you are doing this, you are taking away their women, you're raping, you're doing all the negative things. Again, Nigeria, I think, if you look at the population of the country, is probably 1/3 of all Africans live in Nigeria. 1/3. That's a lot of number. That's a lot, and it means that every 3 people that are killed out there, 2 or 1 must be a Nigerian. So
it's unfortunate. You understand? It's really unfortunate that African brothers will do such, not only to Nigerians, to other African countries, to the Zimbabweans, to the Ghanaians, to Liberians. They do that. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. The African Union, they've made a statement on it. They've condemned it. Different African countries have condemned it. I think to a large extent, maybe at the level of the United Nations, they too should condemn. The South African government, I won't say they've not tried. They are trying, but it has to do with the people. There needs to be a lot of re-engineering, and there needs to be a lot of enlightenment to South Africans, that we are all Africans. We cannot be killing each other in this same Africa that we are in. And these South Africans feel that, some African countries, especially Nigerians, they were taking their jobs, we are taking their women, we are taking, that's their conception, but it's wrong. So even as a government, Nigeria should take a bold step. As much as we have condemned it every year and it keeps repeating itself, I think we should use another approach. The approach could be, we have a sizable number of Nigerians in South Africa. Government should look for a way to make our people understand that if you live in a foreign land, you have to be law-abiding too, because these South Africans allege that our people to break the laws. You understand? So we have to balance it. If you live legally right in a place, perhaps things like that will not be meted on you. But historically, South Africans have been doing that not only to Nigerians, to other African countries. So I think government should step up, condemn it.
The only thing is to take the diplomatic approach. We in NIDO, we've done similar thing. We've spoken with the South African Embassy in DC. It's just to take and then give a sound warning that is senseless killing will not be tolerated. If anybody commits some kind of offense, there's rule of law. Charge that fellow to the court and let the legal system take its course. Let the fellow be in prison instead of jungle justice. You know, that's another side of it that I don't like. Even if you are committing crime, let the court system find you guilty and let the appropriate punishment be meted instead of jungle justice.
From the issues abroad, we came back home and asked for their opinions as regards trending issues in the country, one of which is the current insecurity situation. This is what they had to say.
You see, it's linked. That insecurity is linked to a lot of things that we've been talking about. Unemployment. There's no hope for the future. There's no good outlook there. It's hopelessness. And what do these kids do? They join the courts. They try to form robbery gangs and kidnapping gangs just to make money, to make ends meet. And by the time you know it, they become so rich that they get addicted to it. And then another group will copy, another group will copy, another group will copy. And by the time you know, it's everywhere. So it's incumbent on the government to find a way to start creating jobs for our teeming youth. It's very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So that's a big challenge.
I'm not a security expert, you understand. From a layman view, the level of insecurity in the country is alarming. You have the gentleman who was an officer in the UK, a Metropolitan Police. He was talking about the Commissioner of Police that was recently killed in Abuja. You know that if he was wearing an helmet, or the young journalist from Channels TV, if he was wearing a bulletproof, it could have been averted. You know, these are little things. You understand that shouldn't be had anywhere, that a journalist going into the eyes of the storm in that kind of riot should be wearing that. You understand? So that one alone is a spite on the media. And the media organization where it comes from. You know, it should have been wearing a bulletproof. You know, the police officer should have been wearing a bulletproof too. You know, so those are little things. And looking at the country as a whole, the insecurity, Nigeria was not that bad in the last 10-15 years. All of this started in the last 10-15 years. And what's the cause? Unemployment. There is no job. There is no job. There is poverty in the land. And who are the guys doing this thing? It's the youth. Guys from 18 to 25, they are the ones that are perpetrating these crimes. It's not any old man. So if the youth are properly engaged legally, they won't have time to be carrying arms to take people's lives. You know, so it still boils down to job creation. It still boils down to the economy being good. And it still boils down to the home front. You know, as families, we should look after our wards. If families look after their children very well, they will grow upright. You understand? And it will be difficult for a child who was taught very well to go wayward. You understand? So it all boils down to government, the family, and society at large.
Away from insecurity to politics, we asked, are Nigerians in diaspora satisfied with the recently unveiled ministerial nominee list by President Muhammadu Buhari?
The burning issue right now, particularly among the diasporans, the current list of ministers, and we had hoped that there would be people from the diaspora also appointed to positions of authority, especially when we take into consideration the billions of dollars that diasporans are pouring into this economy. The remittances people have talked about actually that diasporans remit almost half, if not the total budget for the country. Yeah. So those are the burning issues. We also know that there are issues of hunger that they tell us all the time. Relatives tell us that there's no more money in Abuja. Houses are being vacated, and the people, and also social issues like the kind of education, the educational system, the standard that is continuously, going down because of misplaced priorities on the side of government.
Every government is local, you understand? Even in the UK, in the US, every government is local. Look how Trump is local. As funny as some people will describe the US government, it's still America. You understand? So as much as people will still call on Mr. President that why did it take you so long to, it's his responsibility. You understand? He has named his ministers. What we should be hoping for now is for them to get started and get the job done. Because if we start debating when is the right time, constitutionally there is no, I don't think there is any section of the Constitution that says he has to set up his cabinet within 1 week or 2 weeks. But the thing is, just fix the country for us. That's all we care for. Fix the country. Whether these guys, now that they've been nominated, maybe inaugurated soon, let them just fix the country for us. That's all we care for. I know it has taken time, but better late than never. You understand? And Itu said, yes, you can call me Mr. Go Slow, but I'm doing the job. You understand? So if it's going to take time for him to do something and the job is eventually done, we have to live with it. That's my take. We have to live with it.
And those were the opinions of Kenneth Bandi, Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora, Europe; Victor Ikoli, President Nigerians in Diaspora, Qatar; Obed Monago, Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora, Americas; and Professor Apollos Wunwa, Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Movement. And that brings us to the end of this edition of I Am Change podcast. Remember, you can't change what's going on around you until you start changing what's going on within you. You've been listening to I Am Change podcast. I'm Joyce Ometu.